What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com. You can go there to get more wrestling news than anywhere else. Podcasts, exclusives, newsletters, videos, all that good stuff, and all of your daily news. We also have fight size updates in the morning, in the afternoon, after major shows that give you all that news as well. It's a good time over there. Over on our MMA section this weekend, UFC Brooklyn, we had over 1,600 comments in our comment section. So join these live coverage and discussions. It is a good time over there as well. We've got Royal Rumble, we've got NXT TakeOver, and we've got coverage for all of it leading up to the shows this weekend. We're going to have a ton of stuff. I've got a Fightful Select show that's going to be a free preview this week with Mr. Warren Hayes on Wednesday, talking 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK. You'll have that to look forward to. It's an insane week. I think we're going to have probably 6-7 different podcasts, lots of stuff to listen to just on the free side of things. Of course, you all can support us via FightfulSelect.com as well. But right now, I'm bringing in Alex Pawlowski. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been cold and snowy here in the North Midwest. And I'm done with it. I'm ready for spring.
Well, my favorite team traded for Carmelo Anthony today for a hot minute. So That's how my day's going. We have Monday Night Raw. I didn't think it was bad by any means. You're going to have good and bad stuff on every 3-hour show. But all things considered, I thought it was a pretty solid show. Again, guys, listen, your boy, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got the Division, the women's wrestling podcast with Kristen Ashley this weekend as well. Just a ton of content for you guys. I dropped my Shane Helms interview. It is about 40 minutes of us just talking about his 2018. Lots of stuff for you guys to check out. If you all want to help us out in a different way, leave us a nice review on iTunes. That stuff helps us so much. I cannot tell you how much going over there, leaving us a nice 5-star review, and just saying a few words does. It takes maybe a minute to do, and it would mean a whole lot. But let's talk about WWE Raw. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman make their way out to the ring, Alex. Heyman cuts a pretty good promo. At this point, I think most of Paul's promos are going to be the same thing. Nobody has a chance of beating Brock Lesnar. That's what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I like the framing of it. It's rhetorically brilliant. I mean, they always are. Heyman's a great writer. You know, like he frames his promos really well. The idea of, you know, Finn Balor believes in himself. He even got John Cena to believe in him. All of you believe in him. And that's a sin because he can't possibly beat Brock Lesnar. And he's somehow convinced all of you that he can. And you're going to be so disappointed when he doesn't. Like, that's really well done. Like, but the problem is that I can't rate Heyman promos anymore because they're all like between a 7.3 and an 8.9. They're all really good, but I don't know I can't say like this was better than the 1-2 promos ago, but not as good as the 1-4 promos ago. I don't know. I mean, they're all really great.
I appreciate you using the out of 10 scale, by the way. Yes. Much appreciated and very accurate based on my calculations. Vince McMahon comes out, you know, good old crowd-pleasing, show-changing Vince McMahon.
Sure, yeah.
And calls everybody hillbillies. And I'm like, man, Vince is out there cutting a You People promo. So Vince McMahon always, when he's out there these days, seems like he's just like, let's get this shit over with.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's what's going to happen. Let's do it. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. I can only, his voice is overly raspy when I hear it. I can't imagine it through the headset, but.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Braun Strowman comes out. We get these hands chants. He says he'll be waiting for the winner of the Rumble title match and blames Baron Corbin for his bad day.
Yeah.
Finn Balor comes out, addresses that very awkward Vince McMahon, not believing in him, Alex. And there's this David versus Goliath story that is told throughout the middle of this. I believe David on mushrooms.
Yep.
Was the term.
Yep.
Now, when he says mushrooms, do you think that he means psychedelics or is he going Super Mario style on us?
It's probably just not just a nice portobello. grilled in some olive oil. It's probably not that. I'm going to go probably psychedelics there because it's Vince.
We're going to have to reserve all mushroom judgment to Melissa, who I'm pretty sure our producer Melissa on Listen You Boy catfished everybody. She had a display name and a profile picture that many would just assume was me for months. And then when she got a bunch of followers, she's like, hey, I know that I produce a wrestling show, but here are some mushrooms that I hunt. And people are like, what are these mushrooms? Well, apparently mushrooms give you the ability to beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
We'll tell you how you can grow your own mushrooms later on in the show. Vince McMahon gets on out of the ring after making Balor versus Braun. Now, I'm not going to say this Balor versus Braun match was anything overly special, but man, Braun did, and I mean this in a very complimentary way, yeah. Braun did absolutely nothing, and it made a good match.
Yeah.
This is a guy who has not wrestled in months. Uh-huh. He had his arm ripped apart, and he's just doing clubs to the neck and squishers, and it was a fun match. Why? Because he does it convincingly. He does it in the right spots in the match, and Finn Balor sells it like $1 million, Alex.
Yeah.
I especially like the sling blade counter into the old clubbering.
Yeah.
A nice showing for Braun. First match back. We see that he's cleared. He's good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, as I say, what they're doing with him from here on out. Now that we see that he's cleared, it's not he's not quite ready yet, so we can't give him the match at Rumble. It's a creative, plan with him. The match itself, I actually like because as we've seen in the past, Braun and Finn pretty much get along. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, Braun can't be happy that Finn's got his title match, and Finn can't be happy that Braun's like, I know I could beat Brock. I don't know if you can. I think that's fine there. I also think that Braun did exactly what he was supposed to do in this match, was that prove that Finn can beat a guy who's twice his size. So that you get to a point where like, okay, well, maybe it's not insane to think that Finn could beat Brock. Even though Finn came out and said, yeah, I'm not going to be the demon on Sunday. And my thought, everybody's thought is, well, I guess that means he's not going to win because the demon's undefeated. And my thought is, well, if the demon's undefeated, why wouldn't he be the demon? If you have an alternate persona that it takes is several hours in a makeup chair, why wouldn't you be that for every important match, including for the title matches? I mean, if it's up to him. To me, it feels like somebody told him, yeah, we're not doing it anymore. We like you as the pretty boy. We don't like you as the weird guy with, a predator wig. It just feels more like that than his own. I think I could beat him as the man. Well, okay, fine.
Yeah, so Balor said that in a promo, or not a promo, an interview recently, and as recently as this weekend, we do have a video of it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fightful. Check it out, you guys. But within the confines of the match, Balor gets a sling blade and a sleeper inside, and he goes up to the top rope, and Braun pushes him off the top rope. The ref is watching this happen, Alex.
Yeah.
And Brock catches Finn Balor and belly-to-belly suplexes him.
Yes.
So let's get inside the mind of a referee. Wow. Well, you know what? Finn Balor just got suplexed on his goddamn dome piece. But you know what? I think that's the only way that Brock could have set him down. I think that's the only way is by heaving him over his head and make his body do almost a full revolution. I think that's it. I don't get it, Alex.
No,
that's a DQ where I come from.
Yeah, no, I thought they were doing the DQ there. I thought that was going to do this match to me could only have ended in a DQ. It just, especially with Brock at ringside. I thought they were going to do it there, but they kept it going. I mean, I guess they could have done a thing where like Brock caught him and then just dropped him. Like that could have been it. Like he would have landed on his head and But hey, what am I supposed to do? I just dropped him. I didn't throw him. Once you actually perform an offensive move on him, that's a DQ. I don't know how that's not a DQ.
Brock just accidentally drops him. You ever seen the movie Waiting? Where the guy in the back drops the chicken on the ground. I'm all thumbs today.
Yeah.
That's Brock. Whoops.
Butterfingers.
Yeah. Finn yanks Brock off the apron and drop kicks him. Very good spot. Also, Brock did his best to save Balor on that tope con hilo.
Yeah, he did.
He stepped in. That's Brock going above and beyond. And then Balor, I don't want to tell them how to do their job, but first night back for Braun, I might have said, taking that coup de grace doesn't work for me, brother. HH. Probably would have said, no, I'm going to pass on that one. I'll let somebody else eat that one.
Yeah.
Just had my elbow ripped apart a couple months ago. Brock comes in and hits an F5. Wow, Brock hit that guy. I better disqualify him. Because that's what happens when a guy gets hit by somebody who isn't in the match.
Yeah, maybe the only thing I think is that, well, he did it inside the ring. So it's a DQ definitely now. Anything that happened, maybe the ref was confused and he thought it was a lumberjack match with only one lumberjack.
Our boy Danilo getting back just in time from that Saints game. Let me tell you. Otherwise, I thought it wasn't bad. The match was good. It got Brock involved. Braun is back on the show strategically. It was the right opponent for Braun. Nobody needed to lose this match.
Has Braun declared himself in the Royal Rumble?
I don't know why he hasn't.
I mean, that seems obvious, right? You would think he would be one of the top favorites. I mean, I don't know if they'd actually have him win it, but like him coming out and saying, all right, I lost my title match at the Royal Rumble, but I'm going to win the Royal Rumble match and get my title match at Mania. Like, that seems to write itself, so I don't know why they haven't done that. It must be for some other reason.
Okay, segment. I don't think that this segment needed Vince McMahon.
No, he just seems to be like he's there, so he just has to come out and do stuff. Here's the deal. Like, they came out and they said, hey, the four of us are here, and we are going to run things on both Raw and SmackDown. Shane's going to be in a tag program with The Miz. Stephanie's entirely absent. Triple H is going to say, good job smacking coffee out of my hand, Seth, once. But Vince is going to be here all the damn time. It just feels like it's kind of imbalanced as far as what we're seeing of the McMahon clan on screen.
Let's talk about one of my favorite parts of the show that I did not think was going to be something that I even enjoyed. Lio Rush comes out, says that Bobby Lashley is a professional fighter. He fights for money. Interesting enough, because we have an article up on Fightful Select right now where Dan Lambert, Bobby Lashley's manager, says, yeah, I think he's done with the professional fighting thing. The whole fighting for money in a cage thing. But Lio Rush says, you all get to see Bobby Lashley pose. It has a podium up there. Puts the title around his waist. Apollo Crews comes out, and I think, man, this ain't going to be good for anybody involved. Boy, was I wrong. At least in the early going. He challenges Lashley to a non-title match, but Lio says, well, maybe if you beat Bobby Lashley in a pose down. And I think, oh, man, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
Crowd was behind Apollo Crews.
Man, you cannot overestimate, underestimate, overestimate one of those two, just how much they hate Bobby Lashley. Like, I don't know who they could have brought out who wouldn't have gotten a pop opposite Bobby Lashley, because they don't really like that guy at all.
I mean, they don't like Jinder either, but Lucha House Party didn't get a pop there.
No. Jinder's dead. Nobody cares about Jinder. They hate Bobby Lashley. They also hate Baron Corbin. But those are the two guys who have real, genuine heat right now.
And I don't know if it always translates to matches, as we see, but it sure as hell translated to this. Apollo says he doesn't know how to pose, and Lio says, well, you don't know how to be a champ either, which I thought was a great line. The crowd reacted. Crews gets a really good reaction, maybe the biggest pops of his WWE main roster career, for dancing into poses. This is really good, and the best part of this is Renee Young's fascination with Lashley. and talking to herself while Lashley.
Oh my God!
Wow! And Corey's like, calm down. Corey, who is like, anytime Eva Marie, Alexa Bliss, or Mandy Rose comes out,
that's true.
Shut up, Byron.
I just love the idea also of Dean somewhere in the back near a chain link fence watching this on his phone going, hey, honey, you might take it down a notch.
I like to imagine Dean Ambrose back there like, yeah, I kind of agree. Pretty impressive. Like one of those. Lashley gets jealous and attacks, but Apollo ends up throwing Leo on him. We get a match, which means that Apollo won the pose down. That's what it meant. Leo said that's the only way the match was happening. So he won.
Yeah.
Fair. Now, unfortunately, despite the impressive athletic performance we're about to see following this, Apollo Crews is made to look like a total imbecile.
Mm-hmm.
Lashley gets a flatliner, and Crews does this amazing jump off the top where you often see people flip like the front handspring or whatever. I don't know the name of the gymnast term.
Yeah.
That we see Xavier Woods go into before a clothesline.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews jumps off the top rope over Lashley and goes into that flip, then does a jumping somersault over Lashley. It was very awesome. I mean, Apollo Crews is just unbelievable in that regard. Lashley rakes the eyes to get out of the old warrior slam, but then Apollo does it. Cell was a little wonky, but hey, whatever. Leo then distracts Apollo long enough for Lashley to hit a spear and get the win. Now, I'm okay with Lashley winning.
Yeah.
I really think you have to you can't have somebody win the Intercontinental title and then have them lose the next week.
No.
That undermines the title. But man, here's the difference. We'll talk about this a little bit later too, Alex. To me, is it a cheap win? No, it's not a cheap win. Because if you're Apollo Crews, why are you giving a shit about Leo Rush? You've watched wrestling before. You know how this is going to end.
Uh-huh.
You brought him in the ring. You created the distraction yourself.
This is a thing. Like it goes. I mean, Leo Rush is the closest thing in modern WWE to Jimmy Hart. I think that's kind of crazy, but that's basically what he is. He jumps up on the ring apron. He yells at the ref. He distracts people. He gets knocked off the ring. He gets chased around the ring by the babyface, who then decides, he grabs him and looks to the crowd. Should I punch him? Should I? Oh no, there's a chair on my back and I lost. Like it's kind of ridiculous. It's regressive, but it still makes me hope against hope that we're eventually going to get to see Leo Rush have an actual match on Raw. I think him and Apollo Crews could be dope.
That is a match that they should just have them go all out for 7 or 8 minutes and see what happens.
Yep.
And it would be a blast. I think it would be a lot of fun. So yeah, after all that, Apollo more over than he's probably ever been, maybe in the entire WWE, like NXT included. He looks like an idiot. Seth Rollins meets Lashley on the way back down to the ring. They lock eyes. Rollins says months ago he was on top of the world with titles and brothers, and now he has nothing but wrestling. And I get the passion story, but him acting like he's had to work for everything within storyline is just factually inaccurate.
Yeah.
And that bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, no, it bothers me a lot. I mean, his whole thing was like, man, it wasn't too long ago. I had 2 brothers and I had these 2 belts and it was great. One thing that I've always had is you guys. I'm like, no, there was a while there after that whole attack on the Shield where you didn't have them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's a weird thing to be like, just like this, like the idea that this character who went from being one of the most beloved guys to one of the most hated guys to one of the most beloved guys later, that you're not allowed to like tell that whole story, that whole arc, because that makes him more well-rounded, as opposed to right now I'm beloved, so that's all we're going to talk about and forget about everything else. It just feels like it's, a sin of omission.
I'm with you. And WWE has had these people that heat up just out of nowhere. It happened with Becky Lynch. It's happened with Asuka. It's happening with Finn Balor right now, where they get these insane crowd reactions.
Yep.
Elias. Killed Elias dead. We'll talk about that in a bit too. Man. Drew McIntyre comes out, says that Rollins has no chance of winning the Rumble. He'll take great pleasure in eliminating him and winning. Now, the thing is, I talked to Drew McIntyre, and during his Impact run, I've mentioned this. I've met nobody who is more passionate about pro wrestling and improving at it than Drew McIntyre. So it's weird to see the roles switch up. And I know that Seth Rollins is very passionate as well, but you can only come out and say that so many times. McIntyre controls the match early. We get the slam-a-bama to the floor. Back from the break, Rollins gets a nice head scissors into the Falcon Arrow. That was awesome. One of my favorite transitions. The way that he's able to find new ways to go in and out of that Falcon Arrow is amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing. Oftentimes, however, when he quote-unquote lands on his feet, he does not in any way land on his feet.
Nope.
I think that's an issue. If that can't be shored up, I would pass on doing that personally. Seth Rollins is going to do what he wants. He does, however, land his foot on McIntyre's face for a super kick, but then McIntyre gets the Glasgow kiss, the super white noise, a big gut wrench power bomb for 2. A lot of good stuff in his arsenal.
Yeah.
That you're like, man, I bet he wishes he had that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But then again, I think he's better equipped for a main event run now than he was then.
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't know if he is better equipped for a main event run because he gets pinned by Seth Rollins right here. And since December, the only person that McIntyre has beaten on TV is Dolph Ziggler. He's got 1 win in his last 8 matches on TV, Alex. What's going on with Drew McIntyre?
Well, that's part of his push. Don't you understand? When you lose a bunch of matches, you're in the middle of a push. That's what that's what I think. I mean, that's what all the evidence is showing me. This guy was unbeatable for months. And then they were like, hey, this guy's pretty great and really hot. Everyone seems to love him. Let's have him lose. I honestly, that seems to happen all the time, and I just don't get it.
It's odd, man. It's real odd. We'll make him seem like an underdog. What are you doing, man?
But he comes out and he says, what's a 6'5", 265-pound Terminator who loses via roll-up? It's come on. He was absolutely an assassin, a giant Scottish assassin for months. And then they were like, I know, we'll have you lose this match to Dolph Ziggler for no reason. And then look really good, but ultimately lose over and over and over again. Is it so that we're not surprised when he's in the final 3 at the Rumble on Sunday? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, so up next is Lucha House Party defeating Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers. Interesting stat on the Singh brothers. They've only had about 20 matches in WWE, but they've still wrestled on WWE TV in 2016, 17, 18, and now 19, which is kind of unique considering that they've only had those 20 matches. And as good as Kalisto and Metalik are, if you have seen, any Lucha House Party match on WWE Raw, you have already seen this match. They did the tower spot where they jumped on each other's, the assisted senton, the assisted splash. They did the Lucha arm drag. That was it. Metalik gets a quick pin. This match seemed like it was more a push for Corey Graves to get in pop culture references about BuzzFeed and the Fire Festival than it was for this. And it was a way to get Lucha House Party a win because it was quick and harmless. I don't have anything against the match. It's a part of crafting the tag team division that 2 guys that we're going to talk about motivated them to do.
The Revival come out and say I think that we need more focus on tag team wrestling, and the WWE says, I hear you. What you say is that we should have a meaningless trios match in the middle of this Raw, where we have a 6-man tag, where somehow the least over guy is the former world champion. Because I feel like if they had the Singh brothers turn on Mahal, like being tired of all of his crap that he gives them, they would be really hot baby faces for like 12 minutes. Like at that moment when they turn on Mahal, like, and they're like good guys a second, the Bollywood boys, people would cheer them for a little while, then they would get tired of it. But the Mahal's gone forever. There's no chance of resurrecting him. I'm going to say it right now. Wow.
He's done.
He's done.
He's going to be this. He'll be former WWE champion.
Yeah.
He'll be in the Jack Swagger role from here on out.
Yep.
Speaking of Jack Swagger, we have an exclusive interview with him over on our YouTube, youtube.com/Fightful MMA Boxing. He debuts in Bellator this Saturday night. James Lynch will be there at the event covering it live. We will have live coverage. Did you see the commercial on Raw tonight?
I missed it. I saw everything talked on Twitter, but I must have not been looking.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Very strategically placed. The man who brought swagger to WWE. And I was like, you sons of bitches. Jake Hager makes his Bellator MMA debut at the Forum in Inglewood. Yeah, man. I mean, good for him. I hope he does well. Did you see his review of the Crown Jewel match? Yes. I was like, this man saved his money, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he must have.
For those of you who missed it, in our interview with Jack Swagger, James Lynch, who gets more wrestling scoops than a lot of wrestling guys do, says, hey, how much wrestling do you watch these days? And he goes, well, I tell you what, I caught that Crown Jewel tag match with Undertaker and Kane versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I was like, okay. And then he said, yeah, I plan on fighting 3 times this year. And I said, it sounds like it. I said, it sure sounds like it. Tune into that this weekend. Big weekend for us. Big weekend for Titus O'Neil. He's entering the Royal Rumble, Alex. What was this about?
I don't know, man. I mean, okay, here's the deal. I will be shocked if they don't have him try to replicate the fall under the ring thing at the Greatest Royal Rumble, doing it this Sunday. I'll be shocked if they don't have him like, oh, whoops, this time it definitely wasn't intentional. But I'm like, I'll be shocked if they don't do it. If that the whole reason he's in the match isn't to just have him do something stupid and whoopsie daisy, I fell and rolled down the entire ramp. Like, it's going to be something terrible.
EC3 is a goddamn mute, apparently.
Oh, this is so frustrating, Shawn.
People are asking me nonstop, like, okay, we got the Fightful Select Q&A podcast this week. Quick plug, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Bunch of podcasts, dozens a month. It's neat. Doing my Q&A this week. And everybody at least every time I've done it, I've gotten at least 4 questions about the debuts. What are they doing? Do they have plans? They don't have an idea now. It's changed so much on a weekly basis. Nikki Cross is on every show. Heavy Machinery has been on every show. Vince's idea is to get their faces on camera. The Lars Sullivan panic attack threw a wrench into some issue or some plans. John Cena, quote unquote, ankle injury. It's because he's off filming a movie right now. They're setting something up.
Is that really what's happening?
Yeah, he was filming a movie tonight.
So
people ask me about that. The EC3 thing, like it seems, and this is me speculating. I've not been told this. It seems very clear the man was told, don't audibly speak.
Yeah, no. That seems like what they're doing.
And so he's got to go he's signaling Dana Brooke to steal third base or something.
Yeah. Here's the deal. EC3, Mr. Carter III, he's one of the best guys you got on the roster on the mic. And we've never heard him talk yet on the main roster.
It's the opposite of what they should have done.
I just don't understand. Like, there's like, so instead, what they're going to do is have him be backstage, looking himself in the mirror, pulling an old narcissist Lex Luger.
How many times has that worked ever?
Never, including with Lex Luger. But then you're going to have Dana Brooke come out and talk. And we know that's going to go over well because that's been her strength. Now, what they just had after that was they had Elias walk past and go down to the ring. And I thought to myself, oh, this is a perfect thing. EC3 would be a great foil for Elias because EC3 is so arrogant and loves to talk about himself. And Elias is now irreverent and likes to like take the piss out of people. I like it. It'll be great. So when Elias starts talking, I think to myself, EC3 is like, I don't appreciate you walking past and ruining my shot. I thought that was what was going to happen. And instead, no, we get Baron Corbin. And this is the deal. Even the writers and Elias know that it's a stupid bullshit over and over pairing because it's in the damn song. We don't need Baron Corbin and Elias again. They're aware of how terrible they're doing with this. Why? Don't just stop. Stop it.
They lost on Derek Bateman once before.
Yeah, they can't do it again.
That was the only thing entertaining about NXT for years.
Yeah.
Was he and Daniel Bryan like rigging contests and going on dates with the Bella twins, which was hilarious. Daniel Bryan teaching him how to do what is now Daniel Bryan's finishing hold.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of what WWE did, this guy, where a lot of people, some of the Jacob Novaks of the world and that just hit the bricks and never did anything in wrestling again, he went somewhere and he got himself over, and with the help of a good push too. My fear when EC3 came over, especially with that name, was one that they would try to make it a rib on Dixie.
Right.
Because is that something that Vince is above doing? Hell no, it's not.
No, it's not. No.
But fortunately, I mean, one, he was very savvy. I think within hours of Impact saying, "Oh, anybody who has IP here can use it."
Yeah.
He trademarked it like immediately.
Yeah.
Clever. This guy is too talented to waste. He is everything that they wished they would have had in Bobby Roode from a single standpoint.
Yeah.
Now what they have in Bobby Roode is perfect. He's a tag team wrestler. We'll talk about that. But man, it's frustrating me. I've given it time, and I've had people in the company say give it time. I've given it like, 6 weeks, 7 weeks now?
Since they started running those promos, yeah, it's been at least that long.
How do you not have he and Daniel Bryan meet in a hallway?
Well, yeah.
And like just not even say a word, but just exchange looks for those who get it.
If you're going to have EC3 be backstage and do something without saying anything, do it where it means something, where he's actually, or here's the other thing. He and Drew McIntyre he and Lashley have a history in another company. And if it's like one of those things of like EC3 is like, I guess he'd have to say something at this point. But if he came up to them like, don't I know you guys from somewhere? No, that's crazy. Like, I think that would be funny for people who remember that they had a whole thing, like a series of matches in TNA in like 2016. I don't know. It's just a weird deal for him to show up and not say anything. He's really good looking, and that's what they're doing. They're doing that, but like he's also good in the ring and also talks. So to have him just stand there with abs, like, is he Tony Nese? Like, is that the whole thing? Are you going to have him come out and count his abs? Like, what is his deal? He's so much more than whatever you think he is, obviously.
Someone asks, was he supposed to come up around SummerSlam? I heard he had concussion issues. He did get a concussion in that match with Dream with the DDT on the ramp, but I don't know, man. Baron Corbin defeated Elias. Corbin interrupts Elias and blames him for ratting him out to Strowman last week. Elias sings that song about us not needing this match anymore, and we don't.
We don't.
Swings a guitar at Baron. The benefit is that Baron has heat, but that heat seems to go away once the bell rings.
Yeah. No, because the thing is, like, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily, the old quote-unquote X-Pac heat, go-away heat. But people are tired of seeing him on screen. Like, he had a whole arc where it was like, I'm the general manager, and if I lose this match, I'm fired as general manager, and then what will I do? Well, apparently the answer is be on our TV every week.
we want to talk about somebody who would benefit from a tag team partner. We mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I think he could do some great work in a tag team. I do.
He'd be a great as the heavy in a tag team. He'd be really good at it. I really think so.
I think, yeah, he'd be good as somebody's Jim Neidhart.
Yep.
And he's got some real cool moves that he does.
He does.
Of all the moves that we see, it is an old school into a lucha arm drag from Elias. Okay, his jumping knee looks good too. But then we get the end of days. What leads to it, though? The ref is separating these two. Elias wades in and gets punched. So, am I supposed to think that's cheap? Because it's not, Alex.
No.
But they want me to think that that's a cheap, scummy way to win. It's not.
No,
Baron Corbin paid attention and he won a match.
That's the thing, is that so there's an old adage that I wish they use more often here. Sometimes the bad guy is just the better wrestler. Now, usually that's not the way it works. They have to cheat or be a chicken shit and you sucker somebody into something. Sometimes not only is the bad guy the better wrestler, sometimes he's smarter than the babyface. Sometimes the babyface lets his guard down and the heel gets one on him and wins the match clean. But you allows the commentator to go, oh, not like this. Oh, we wanted a good straight shooting match, and then he got one over on him, and we didn't want that. Like, okay, fine, but he still won the match. The problem is that I don't even know if this is not 50-50 booking. Baron Corbin is literally winning this feud. So, and obviously, that's not what the fans want in the new era of WWE Raw. So you were liars. The fans don't want. We don't want this.
Elias has been cooled down heavily. Does Baron Corbin gain from this? I don't know. I mean, they want Baron Corbin to be so much more than what he's going to be. I don't think he will ever be what they want him to be in that regard.
That's the problem. What do they want him to be? They've had him win the damn Money in the Bank briefcase and then look like a chump losing it. So what do you want him to be? Because you had a chance at making him the world champion, and you said, nope, we're not going to do that.
And they did it because he spoke up about concussion issues.
I know. So like
because he had the balls to say, I've talked to a lot of doctors in relation to this NFL thing, and I feel like I might have some insight or I might doubt this.
Yeah.
And then, bam, he's jobbing.
Yep.
In seconds.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Up next, a moment of bliss. Corey Graves still obsessed with Alexa Bliss. We have no follow-up from her being caught dressing.
I don't even know what that was.
I had somebody with the balls to also say last week because I isolated the video. I knew it'd be a hot topic. They go, well, you put the video clip on here. So obviously, I'm like, obviously I knew it would do clicks.
Yeah.
We don't have to make sense from a week-to-week basis. We are not running a storyline.
No.
Alex and I are just talking into a camera. We are normal human beings.
Yeah.
WWE at least has some sense of obligation to make sense. And I don't know. Maybe it will. I don't know. Apparently, the rumor is that I have not confirmed that she wanted to do it as an ode to Trish. I'm like, how is that? Do a springboard bulldog or something. Like what? that was the thing that was hot in the streets. That was it was.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So, Nia Jax comes out and Ember Moon interrupts her and says, "You weren't gonna invite me, so I came out here to say I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble." And I'm like, post a tweet.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, my thought was immediately, oh, if only that were even an option. That Ember Moon could win the Royal Rumble and get a title shot at Mania where she'd tear the house down.
I thought will eventually.
Eventually, but currently no. And as if to prove my point, the next person to come out to say, no, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble was Alicia Fox. And then I went and I thought to myself, no, none of these people are winning the Royal Rumble. Somebody who's not out here currently is going to win the Royal Rumble. Like it's just, it felt so kind of obvious in that moment. But 1000% love for Alicia Fox coming out and talking like a crazy person wearing that damn hat. She's just
holding on to the captain gimmick. I love it, man.
Oh my God, I hope she's still the captain of the women's division 5 years from now, and nobody remembers how it started.
I just think that's one of those things. Like anytime she's on a Survivor Series team, immediate captain. And the reason should always be she's experienced. That's it.
She's been a captain,
and
before.
Everybody just goes, okay. So Alexa Bliss gets a great pop and announces for the Royal Rumble. I know a lot of people say it should have been a surprise. I think you want to advertise that.
No, you want to advertise that.
We're going to have enough surprises. They've got surprises up their sleeves, guys.
Yes, I'm sure they do. This also is a great moment for the crowd who usually hates Alexa Bliss the character, to show Alexa Bliss the person that she's beloved, and they're happy that she's recovered and ready to come back and wrestle again. Because there are a lot of people speculating like, oh my God, is she done? Like, as they gave her this talk show, she may not be back for months now. And my thought was, I hope that's not the case. And when she said, I'm coming back, I'm going to wrestle in Rumble, I thought, well, good for you. I hope you lose. Because I'm kind of tired of watching Alexa Bliss as champion, but I'm really happy that the performer is able to wrestle again.
Lacey Evans shows up, declares for the Royal Rumble, and trash talks Alexa, says that she's, what'd you call her? Sawed off
runt, something like that.
Well, there you go. What do you think of the Lacey Evans gimmick?
I've always hated it. The problem with it is that I understand what they're trying to do, but it really walks that line when she's like, I'm going to cleanse the women's division. Really? Are you? Because in NXT, it's like mostly women of color. And when you have this blonde out there going like, also like, everyone should be more like me, thinking like somebody in the 1940s. Let's cleanse the women's division. You leave yourself wide open to accusations you don't want.
If WWE was a more consistently creative show like that, I think I would have a less problem with these maybe controversial storylines. And you do have these people who carry it over to social media, and there is a fine line between stage and reality, and there are elements of reality. For the love of God, how many times have you heard the cliche thing, it's yourself with the volume turned way up?
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. But if it were more like, we don't see characters like the Godfather anymore.
No.
We don't see Val Venus.
No.
I think if you had those two and they were characters today, or the right to censor even.
Right.
And if you had, or vice versa, it would seem a little more normal in that regard.
Yeah, no, Lacey Evans seems like a character from a bygone era.
But she can only play off of that because of the era that we're in.
Right. That's it's an odd deal. I think she's fine. I think she'll never win a championship, and that's fine with me too. But then again, I've thought a lot of people will get called up or be like, well, that's good for them to get the call up, but have fun on main event. But who knows? I mean, who knows how people get over?
Heavy Machinery defeated the Ascension in a squash. Now, there were people backstage in WWE who were surprised they were, one, still called up, two, getting wrestling matches because they had a real bad match with the Colognes. I think all things considered, this match went pretty damn well for them.
Yeah.
Otis did the thing that Otis is going to do. I saw Justin LaBar say they are for sure shortening that to just Otis. Yeah, damn right they are.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Although I think they also love they might call it Otis, but I think they also love Big Dozer.
Yeah,
I think they also love that as well. So I'm not sure how they're going to
call him Otis the Dozer.
Yeah, they're whatever. I think this is fine. This is good. Heavy Machinery is going to be just fine as mid card tag good hands. They'll lose to the top tier heel teams, but always look good doing it.
You're going to be the Godwins.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all they need.
Godwins won tag titles, for the love of God.
All they need to be, and Otis is always going to get a pop wherever they go. When they go to like the Armory in some place, he's gonna be over with kids immediately. Kids are gonna love a big fat guy doing the worm. I mean, that's people are gonna love that stuff.
They did a double headbutt on Victor. Tucker does a second rope body press. They did the dancing squisher to the head. Then you get the caterpillar, the compactor, a squash. This is fine. All things. This is the best of anything I've seen of heavy machinery on the main roster so far, including the pre-match walking back. I think that was more effective than what you had last week.
Yeah.
On SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah. Oh, here's the deal. If this was the first time we saw them on the main roster, we didn't have Otis slobbering all over Alexa. We didn't have their weird protein shake thing. Although that was certainly better than the Otis slobbering all over Alexa. If this was it and they showed up and this is what they did, and we didn't have that bad memory, I think they'd be well on their way to be something really big. But that's in recent memory. That whole Otis showing up to take the shine away from the women's tag titles was not a good look.
So you go from lusting after a girl to the protein shakes to heavy machinery beating the Ascension, or heavy machinery getting a push.
Well, I mean,
if you want your heavy machinery to get a push,
I walked right into that one.
If you're lusting after some girls, if you're trying to shake some protein, if you know what I'm saying,
I'm out.
If you're trying to get your heavy machinery and your Ascension on, visit BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue, BLUE. Use that code FIGHTFUL, get your first shipment free. I mean free. You can increase your performance, get that extra confidence in bed. Blue Chew, like the color blue, brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but better, faster, cheaper. Better and faster? It's a chewable, gets in your system faster. Also gets to you faster. Ships direct. You order online. You don't have to wait in line at the doctor. It's amazing, my friends. Why is it cheaper? Well, you get it for free. Use that code FIGHTFUL. It's prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. You just pay $5 for shipping. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to wait around. You don't have to be awkward there. Oh, man. Made in the USA, ships direct, cheaper than the pharmacy. BlueChew.com. Use that code FIGHTFUL. Hit them up at GetBlueChew on Twitter. Let them know that you heard about them from us. Damn, I'm good. Alex.
Yeah, no, very good. I think that Heavy Machinery will probably get a few victories under their belt. They might get a title shot if the Revival ever win the belts. We'll talk about that later. But I do see them as kind of peaking at maybe being the fourth team in a four corners match for the belts at some point.
If you want to peek in between your four corners, hit up BlueChew.com. Use that code FIGHTFUL. The Revival are seen backstage. Now, a follow-up to what happened last week. The Revival, on the spot after their match, straight up asked for their release. It was rejected. WWE told them, give us 3 months. Now, they didn't say, give us 3 months and we'll release you.
Yeah.
Give us 3 months. We're going to put some more emphasis on this tag team division. Well, when I said, okay, oh gosh, first off, I'm going to address this. I had written the article because I didn't have it on record. Oh, they asked for their release, this. I was told, think they quit Monday, and that can be interpreted a lot of ways. However, when I asked backstage, a lot of people said, yeah, we don't want to lose them. So I put WWE fearful. A lot of idiots on social media said, yeah, they're real scared of losing the Revival. They're so afraid. Yeah, they are. They don't want to lose anybody.
No.
They don't want to lose Mike Kanellis.
Yeah.
WWE won't grant Mike Kanellis his release, which he did ask for, by the way. Just because Maria says that she didn't ask for her release does not mean that Mike didn't ask for their release. He did. It was rejected. More on that this week.
They're afraid of losing the revival. Let them go be vanilla midgets in AEW.
That's what I deal with on a daily basis, guys. Yeah, they don't want to lose these people. They don't want to.
Like, listen, do you realize that like fully 1/3 of AEW's programming could be built around the Young Bucks versus the Revival for 2 straight years?
Yeah.
They would, like 1/3 of whatever the hell they do could be just those guys doing stuff. Yes. And whatever that is will be better than whatever the WWE has doing in any of their tag divisions. So yes, the WWE would rather not. They absolutely want to hold on to all these people. So WWE wants to hoard all of the toys so none of the other kids in the neighborhood can play with them.
Even if they don't want to play with them.
Right. That's my toy. I will keep it in my room in a box where I'll never look at it, but you can't have it, other kids in the neighborhood. That's who the WWE is.
And as Ryan Satin followed up and I was able to corroborate, a lot of that was based on the lack of give a shit that WWE had given to the tag team division. A division in which every single time they have pushed with any extended degree of significance has been a resounding success.
Yeah.
Anytime that you have protected good teams, characters, entertainment, and wrestling, it leads to that. So the Revival want a special guest referee in their match. They get it in the form of Kurt Hawkins, who, his job, he is a jobber in WWE. But Vince McMahon jobs him out accordingly backstage.
Why, you're not going to wrestle. You lose all the time. Why would I have you wrestle? Ha ha ha.
I'm like, you're paying the guy. Even in storyline, WWE won't release Kurt Hawkins after he's lost 250 matches.
Like at least
you're not afraid to lose anybody. Nobody, you marks.
Yeah. They could relegate him. I mean, they keep talking about how, hey, eventually we're going to have main roster guys move up and down to NXT. Like if Kurt
they
Hawkins
wanted to do that, by the way.
Yeah, if Kurt Hawkins like went down to NXT and showed up and like got on a winning streak at NXT, it'd be kind of funny to be like, wow, I guess the main roster is much harder to win at the NXT. You could tell that story, or he could show up in NXT and go on a continuous losing streak, losing to guys in NXT. You could do a lot of stuff, but instead, Kurt Hawkins is, a ref.
Well, a good thing about Kurt Hawkins is he makes the best out of everything.
Yes, he does.
He's got a great podcast right now. He's got a good wrestling school right now. He embraces the losing streak gimmick to the point to where he said, yeah, let's keep that going. Let's keep that going for a while because it really works for me. And that I can appreciate, because did anybody expect him to really get that call back to WWE a couple years ago? I didn't really. And he's a very entertaining guy. I listen to the guy talk about wrestling figures once a week. He's a very entertaining guy. And as it turns out, in kayfabe, maybe the greatest referee to ever don the stripes, Alex.
Yeah, they should. The Saints wish that he had been reffing their game yesterday.
So, surprise, Chad Gable's real good, Alex.
Surprise! Nobody knew that. That's a shocker. Spoiler alert.
Dawson catches Gable with a big running uppercut. Gable takes out both opponents with a diving clothesline. You get in stereo suplexes and an assisted senton from Rude and Gable. That assisted senton or tope con hilo was amazing. Renee looked shocked that, that Gable landed on his feet. And when that happens, you always got to wonder, is somebody going to blow out their knee doing that? But Gable was fine. Back from a break, Rude is on a roll. It's amazing how little I can get behind his singles work and how incredible in tag team wrestling Bobby Roode is. One of the best to ever do it as a tag team wrestler.
Yeah.
He is outstanding. Gable body presses Dawson. This is right after the Revival got caught cheating, and Kurt Hawkins spots it. Spots it a second time. After the body press, Scott rolls through and holds the tights. Hawkins spots it again. Then Hawkins catches them a fourth time, and Gable ends up pinning Dawson.
Yes.
Now, normally I'd say, you know what, 6.5 minute title match. Will that get him to hang around? I don't know, but there was a story to this match.
Yes, there was.
There was progression here. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted. I thought it was funny that, like, you know, I can't wait to see those Young Bucks and Revival matches in 3 months. Obviously, they wouldn't let him out, but hey, you know, Vince is such a straight shooter. You never know. I don't know. I thought it was funny though that this is all the same tricks that the Revival used over and over and over again in NXT in order to win matches, because they're just so damn clever at finding new and interesting ways of cheating. But they didn't work here because, you know, Kurt Hawkins caught him. I think that was good. These are all their tactics they've used in the past, and they didn't work for them this time. So that's fine. It's a story to be told. I don't know if it's a story that's going to keep them hanging around. There are other. I mean, like, Razor won a singles match on Main Event, so AOP has been completely removed from this tag scene right now. Only a few short weeks after being the champions. I don't know if there's a new, you know, focus on tag team wrestling on Raw. I'll believe that when I see it. But I mean, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are a tag team now, it looks like, so that's something.
Kurt Hawkins gets beaten up by the Revival. Zack Ryder comes out. I think they missed a real opportunity by not hitting his music.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that if people still know that music, I mean, at one point, Zack Ryder was one of the most over people in pro wrestling, which is wild to think.
Yeah.
But he was. People do still know that music.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't even go that far back to the, you know, internet champion days, when he won that ladder match like 2 Manias ago, I think it was, like the crowd was genuinely really, really happy for him. I mean, then his title reign lasted like, you know, 22 hours or whatever. But in that moment, everyone was really happy for Zack Ryder to be the Intercontinental Champion. There's something that guy's got something that connects with the crowd if you would just allow him to do good things for a while. He lost a feud with Mojo Rawley, and Mojo Rawley used all that momentum to be on Main Event this week.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey backstage cuts a promo that I would call clunky with the quote, "She's too busy traveling the world, living the lifestyle of a boss."
Like, here's the deal. She says, I didn't even get 2 seconds, 2 sentences into my spiel about it. Like, honestly, if you had just stopped after the first one, we would have been fine with it. Yeah. 2 seconds, that's fine. You can move on. But the fact that she felt like she had to correct herself, that didn't help the rest of the promo.
Less is more in a lot of situations with Ronda. I'm not necessarily of the Jimmy Van belief that she should only have squash matches and not wrestle very often. I mean, this is her 51st match in under a year. That's pretty good. She's going to wrestle. She wants to wrestle. You can't say to Ronda, hey, we're not going to have you wrestle if you want to wrestle, because she might be one of the only things that you have to possibly draw in a different kind of viewer right now. And we're at the spot where women are main eventing regularly, and you're also going to have those idiots.
The ratings are also lower than they've ever been.
You'll have those people, and I will ridicule you mercilessly if you come into my mentions and say ridiculous stuff like that. The gloves are off, my friends. Sasha, I thought, did a good job playing the mind games role on Ronda in this.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get under her head, playing the antagonist as best she could, while not necessarily making Bayley the antagonist.
Right,
'Cause
right.
that's a difficult thing to craft, and I thought Sasha did it very well.
Yeah, I think that it's more along the lines of Bayley's backing her friend, and her friend really, really hates Ronda Rousey. And I feel like that's fine. It doesn't have and necessarily have to make Bayley, pull underhanded stuff and be non-Bayley like. I also liked the idea that Natalya was backing her friend Ronda, and since Ronda hates Shasta so much, Natalya felt like she was a little snug in moments, and it felt like it added to the gravitas of the match. You tweeted this, and I couldn't agree more. The women are the main event on Raw, on the go-home show for the Royal Rumble, and it doesn't feel like a big deal anymore. And that's great, because it shouldn't. The problem I have with it is that the only other women's segment you have on the show is the Moment of Bliss brawl. Like, there has to be other programs that don't involve the main title. Eventually, it's possible
the Royal
the tag
Rumble,
titles. I'm saying, like, you could actually have a storyline. It's not just like all of us want to punch each other. There's other things to do. And when they have tag titles eventually, hopefully that will be the case.
But 30 heads will rock and 29 will roll.
That's true.
Duh.
I had forgotten all about that.
Good match here. Bayley does a super Frankensteiner that leads into a Sasha Meteora on Natalya. Natalya does the electric chair to Sasha. When Rousey tags in and rolls through, Sasha throws some nice elbows.
Yeah.
Applies the bank statement. Natalya breaks up the pin. Rousey gains the upper hand, lands strikes on Bayley. Sasha dove out of the ring. That's another way. It makes her look like a jerk in that situation.
Yep.
But a little bit smart too, and gets a little bit of sympathy on her babyface tag team partner, Bayley.
Yeah.
In the meantime, that ain't easy to do, and they crafted it in a really clever way. We also have Bayley wisely recognizing Rousey botching an armbar, a flying armbar. Whatever happened, there was some miscommunication. And Bayley has a hold of the leg. Now, here's the thing. In a shoot, you would probably, if you've got that, you would drop down for a heel hook or something. Bayley ain't doing that to Ronda Rousey.
No.
So she drags her over. Bayley drags Rousey over to the corner, tags out. Rousey ends up getting an armbar on Sasha, gets hangman and has to tag out again, and Natalya taps out to the bank statement. First match of Rousey's career that she's been on the losing end of.
Yep.
50-1 now. Thought the match was pretty damn good. What'd you think?
Match was very good. I think that Sasha and Rousey have really great chemistry for us never having seen them wrestle before, really. And, it's one of those things where, going into one of these big weekends, I always feel like TakeOver is going to have 3 of the top 5 matches of the weekend at least. But the women's matches this weekend are all going to be crazy good. Like, Becky versus Asuka's going to be really, really great. And I feel like Bianca and Shayna on TakeOver has a potential to really be world changing for Bianca. And this match, even though I'm like 99.8% sure that Ronda is going to win, has the potential of telling a fantastic story in order to get to that assumed ending.
Multiple people say that Bayley pushed Sasha out of the way. My bad. There's a little bit of a pull apart to end the show. What I thought was a solid Raw, a solid go home show. We have our predictions for NXT and SmackDown, and Royal Rumble tomorrow night after SmackDown. Warren Hayes will make his own free preview show for FightfulSelect.com. Maybe you guys are on the fence about the service. Check it out. Wednesday night, Warren Hayes will be here live to talk about the Tuesday, Wednesday content. We have dozens of podcasts on Fightful Select every month. I let you all submit questions. I'm going to interview TK O'Reilly soon of Ring of Honor fame, Ring of Honor 6-man champion. You all can submit questions over on Select at Tier 2. Lots of neat stuff over there. My weekly goes up early. Lots of neat stuff over there. If you're on the fence even more, I have a full playlist on youtube.com/Fightful of free preview content. I absolutely eviscerated a Chili Willy Falcon Arrow on this recent episode of Dark Match Commentary. Boy, was it hideous. Alex, tell the people where they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me at Pawlowski the Fourth. I tweet about stuff.
You all can follow me at Shawn Sapp. Leave us a thumbs up, subscribe. Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Fightful MMA podcast. Tune in. Until next time, my friends, we're out.